Welcome one, welcome all. We are here at the beautiful virtual Eldora Speedway here for the Ignite 100 here on the Ignite Sim Racing Network. My name is Josh Patterson. I am joined here by Jay Mulder up in the commentator's booth. Jay is not here right now. He's getting a little sandwich. He'll be right back with us in a minute. However, we are here with 4 minutes of practice remaining at the virtual Eldora Speedway Dirt Street Stocks, driving around this wonderful racetrack. Got a good show in store for us tonight. 100 laps, as the title suggests. So these guys are going to put on a show here. Got drivers just looking to finish up some practice, get in their final practice laps before we head off into qualifying heats and the feature race. Jacob Stefanski, currently your fast time in the iRacing number 2 car, 23 on the sim. That tan machine is up top with an 18.325, about a tenth and a half quicker than second place Jason Gunnels tonight. But a lot of cars here on the racetrack looking to finalize their practice position with just 3 minutes remaining. Before we get started here, I'd like to give a quick little shout out to some of our asphalt friends running the American Thunder Super Speedway Series. Come out to join us tonight. Tyler Clunan in the 12, nice gold number, navy background, beautiful looking race car there, and Jeremy Berger, the 99 Red Bull scheme, as well as a couple others. I believe I saw Randy Cornwell and Cornwell Barbecue Sauce out here tonight joining us, but also got some of the regular Dirt Street Stock crowd that you'll see in officials crowding them, winning lots of races, such as Stefanski, Gunnels, Sexton, Ellington, Castle, Proud, Fernandez, and others that you'll be seeing on a regular basis in the iRacing Official Series, C-Class Rookie Dirt Street Stock Series. Some money on the line tonight, $30 of total purse for the top 3 here to split after tonight's event. So looking forward to seeing how far guys are willing to push their cars to get it done and take home a victory or a podium here tonight at Eldora. We're going to take a quick look at our track info before we get fired off into qualifying here. 5 minutes of qualifying, a minute and a half left of practice. Eldora, we're at Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio, USA. Length is 0.44 miles. I believe the listed length is actually closer to half a mile, but measuring is done differently sometimes with the ATVO service. Configuration, we are on the dirt oval. It has 4 turns and an altitude of just under 1,000 feet above sea level. Looking at Jeremy Sexton, always a favorite. He has an 8,000 iRating plus here, regular visitor to victory lane through the typical Dirt Street Stock Series and leagues. So going to be a factor here tonight. I believe Jay Mulder has returned from grabbing his sandwich. Jay, are you joining us here?
Yeah, we're all dialed in. We're ready to go. It's going to be a fun night racing here at the Eldora Speedway. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys slide around. We've seen a lot of great racing here before, a lot of great drivers here in the field tonight, and it sure be a good 100 laps out here. So I'm just as excited as you are, and got that sandwich in me, so we're nice and fueled up, ready to go.
Absolutely. That 100 laps is going to be interesting to see how drivers are able to navigate those 100 laps. 100 laps will add some tire saving, which you'll see drivers attempt to do, maybe running the bottom, trying to keep that car a little bit straighter than they usually would on a shorter race track, but long race track, half a mile here at Eldora, and 100 laps, definitely a daunting task in front of these drivers. As practice concludes, Jacob Stefanski is going to be your quickest time here in practice. So we are going to head to our qualifying session. Jeremy Berger, first driver I see on track. He's going to go out there, get a look at the outside wall and reset in here. Isaiah Murphy, not someone I've personally heard of before, but making a start here tonight at Eldora. Going to rip it on the high side, going through turn 3 and 4, and we'll start on his first flying lap.
Ooh, bounces off the wall right there. That's going to deny his lap. Unfortunately, he's going to get another shot at it, though.
Yeah, something that's interesting with iRacing as Cam Thompson goes to the top of the board is that if you hit that outside wall, Isaiah Murphy way sideways on his first flying lap. Tyler Clunan goes up to the top of the charts. If you grab that outside wall, get a contact with it, a 0x as it's called in iRacing, you will have your lap disallowed and have to wait until that next lap or rely on that previous lap depending on when it is. Evan Monaghan goes second place here in the 13 car, 19 in sim. And Jeremy Berger now, after getting a good look at that outside wall, decides to stay away from it and goes to the top of the charts. Fellow commentator here, Tyler Ryan, is just going to look at him, go around, and he takes the fastest lap with a 19.110, but quickly gets passed by Dakota Proud in the 14 as 19 custom number. A lot of guys running custom numbers that are different from their iRacing numbers. As Devin Fernandez, the guy who's not running a different number in the 48, goes to the top of the charts with a 19.015. Not uncommon here to see that 18-second mark be broken. And see guys get into the 18.9s. We'll see if anyone can do it here with just over halfway left in qualifying.
Yeah, and to touch on something you mentioned earlier, we see another car on track here. Couple more there. Ooh, ball touch. But going off what you said earlier with saving tires, it's, like you said, a lot of keeping it straight and just not wearing out that right rear, getting in the gas super hard. You want to be nice and easy on that throttle and save that right rear. That's going to be the name of the game, I think, and give you more grip, more tread to work with in the later stages.
Absolutely. Jason Gunnels does break into that 18-second barrier there with an 18.97 or 9.87. He'll go to the top of the charts. That beautiful number 0 car. James Ellington, Dirt Street Stock regular, now out on track in that blue, black, and yellow-orange race car right there. He'll decide to run the bottom for his first lap, and will go pretty far up the charts into P12 out of 19 who have set a lap here. Big dog Jeremy Sexton is now going to rip the top for his first flying lap. That Cocky Floyd Consulting Doghouse Chassis Dirt Street Stock number 022 or 020. He's going to go similar, actually almost an identical lap to James Ellington there, the 19.216. Run the bottom for his second lap here with just a minute left of qualifying. Comes off of turn 4 on the bottom line and will slot himself in 4th. A 19.059. Tyler J. Reed slots himself right behind in 5th. 19.109. He's going to complete his second lap here. Comes around turn 4. And sets slower. Seth Castle, another Dirt Street Stock regular, goes P12 on his first lap with a 19.153. Going to come through turn 3 and 4 on the bottom. Seems like the bottom line is coming in for a lot of these guys. A lot of drivers starting off on the high side, running quicker on the bottom. However, Castle does not run quicker that lap and stays in 12th. That's going to wrap up qualifying here at Eldora. Jason Gunnels is going to be your quick time with a 18.987.
Yeah, now we're going to get into some heat racing here, starting off with heat number 1. It's going to take the top 5 to the feature, and we're going to have 2 heats of 10 laps in length. Heats 3 and 4 are going to be skipped. We didn't quite fill it up. I'm not sure if the C main or B main will occur. It's kind of up in the air. iRacing likes to play around with that, but yeah, we'll get kicked off with some heat racing here tonight. Josh, you got the lineup.
Yeah, our grid here tonight, Jason Gunnels on pole with that quick time. Dakota Proud will start in second. Third place is going to be Tyler J. Reed in the 58. Jeremy Berger to his outside. Fifth place is going to be Jacob Stefanski. Sixth, Carter Long. Row 4 is Tyler Clunan on the inside. James Ellington to his outside. Following those two, Merrick Mashburn in 9th. Hunter Hayden in 10th. Row 6, Jordan Vrooman, Tony Sipple. Row 7 is going to be Dylan Faust in the 20 and 14th, and Levi Stagman, backwards there on my end, in 13th. And rounding out your first heat, going to be Brody Norton in the 411 and Carter Cornwell in the 22, starting in P16.
Yeah, quite a loaded heat here. Got 16 cars on track. The other heat also going to have 15 cars. So lots of drivers out here, and of course, top 5 spots going to lock you into that feature. So we'll have to keep an eye on those transfers, of course, but not their last opportunity as well. They'll have a last chance qualifier in the B main for sure, of course. And we'll have to wait and see how this all unfolds here.
We got 1 lap to green as the pace car crosses the line. We'll look at our heat race info. We got 10 laps in both of these heat races, race distance of about 5 miles. Track temperature currently pretty low at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. 32 cars total in the session, which you see the 16 cars in this heat. I don't believe everyone has gridded, as I believe we have 12 here for the first heat. In-game time currently sits just after 7 p.m. Jason Gunnels and Dakota Proud are going to come off through turn 3 and 4 and lead us to the restart zone. Gunnels will fire early, and we're going to be green flag racing here at Eldora.
He's going to go right up to that wall. We see those guys fanning out big time all over the racetrack, trying to find any semblance of grip. All the way from the bottom to the top, there's a lane everywhere around this racetrack as we see those cars getting down to the inside there. It seems like there's some grip down there. It looked like maybe bumped them up the racetrack a little bit in that 721 car. But back up to the wall, and that's where the leader's been. Our leader, of course, being Jason Gunnels in that 0 car. As you see it, 13 in the session.
Dakota Proud running the bottom line, trying to pick off Jason Gunnels. Gunnels sticking to that top side there. I'm not sure that that's the fastest line right now. I think we'll see the fastest line move around a ton. 58 of Tyler Reed's going to hug that wall, but they're side by side for the lead going down the backstretch. Dakota Proud looking to try to pull off a slide job, not quite far enough ahead to make it happen, and staying very even. It's going to be Gunnels with the lap lead, I believe, as they were just about too close to call there at the line. But yeah, both lanes looking good right now. As we see, Jacob Stefanski did not get the qualifying run he wanted to. He's running P4 right now, but making up ground on the front 3.
Yeah, it seems like there's just a tiny little grip strip right there between the rubber and the cushion on that high side, allowing them to keep that momentum up as we see him blink in and out there once or twice. But yeah, he's keeping his momentum up and staying ahead at the end of the straightaway, but Tyler Proud on that inside holding real strong and working it very nicely right there. Lots more grip down there, it looks like. Just not the momentum, and he's going to try and fall in line. But looks like that car to the outside of him is actually going to take it away from him now.
Gunnels able to clear for the lead for sure here. He's gotten up in front. Tyler Reed, Jason Gunnels to the lead. Tyler Reed will go to second. Or at least try to, as he tries the slider there, does not make it stick, but gets a pretty good run on Dakota Proud in the 19, as they're gonna stay in different lines going through turn 3 and 4. Reed with a good run off the cushion there on the outside as we hit 3 laps to go. Stefanski not able to make up ground like he was hoping to, as Reed gets a huge run on the outside. Going to be right up the back bumper of Dakota Proud. He's going to look to the bottom here. Here comes the slide job coming through turn 3 and 4. Does not go all the way up. Going to allow Proud to stay in second and run around him on the outside.
Yeah, it looked like he's playing a little nice there, but really got to respect the car control. He knows where his bread is buttered. He wants to get in that main event tonight. As we look further back now, that battle looks like not really much of a battle for 5th right now as we come around the final lap. But that final transfer spot not really in jeopardy right now. Those two back there just behind as we enter the final lap.
And there comes the slide job. Tyler Reed gets it done. Dakota Proud does a crossover on him. Doesn't quite get clear. Going to throw a slide job of his own. They're battling hard for 5th place, or 6th place, excuse me. As we're going to see Jason Gunnels take home your heat race win. Dakota Proud gets the slide job done back on Tyler Reed to take home 2nd. Reed will be 3rd. Stefanski 4th. Jeremy Berger rounds out your top 5.
Real great racing right there, and like I'm pretty sure I mentioned, Tyler Reed, some real good car control to, control that slider. It looked like he was going to dive it all the way in there, but he hung on to it, managed to get under control, and lived to fight another corner. And like I said, worried about that main event there, not trying to make any enemies as we look ahead to heat number 2 here.
I'll let you get the grid here on this one as I took over last time, so go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So leading us off for heat number 2, our second qualifier going to be Devin Fernandez rolling off, and Jeremy Sexton to his outside. Then we're going to have Tyler Ryan, our co-commentator. We might be a little biased, but we want to see him do well. He'll roll off 3rd alongside Dylan Simmons in 4th. Further back, Evan Monaghan in 5th and Seth Castle in 6th. And looking at row number 4, we've got Nathan Tripod and Dakota Denu. And row 5, rounding our top 10, we've got Cam E. Thompson and Stevie Routh. Row 6, starting in 11th place, Isaiah Murphy alongside Matt Urban in 12th. And after that, it's showing Blake Kennedy, but I believe he's not racing tonight. And then Randy Cornwell and Dylan Bongiovanni in 15th, rounding out the rest of our field. I don't think Blake Kennedy's racing here, so I don't believe that's necessarily correct. He might have just joined to help out with running the session here tonight, but yeah, not totally sure about that. Not seeing him on track.
I believe I see 10 cars that showed up, gridded up here, and we're going to be taking your green flag. It's going to be the top 11 minus Cam Thompson. Not sure where he ended up tonight, but Devin Fernandez, Jeremy Sexton, Tyler Ryan, and Dylan, actually the top 6 here, all regular dirt street stock guys. And not to toot my own horn, but 4 JPAT graphics cars. I designed 4 of those race cars up in the top 6, so good look in front of the field. As we see the 48 and 2020 come back down around the backstretch to lead your second heat race for 10 laps around the Eldora Speedway.
Yeah, I think maybe some of these guys were watching that last heat race and learned a thing or two about where the grip is as they're going to fire off and take the green flag. Heat 2 at Eldora is underway as Devin Fernandez gets away well, and he's going to dive to the bottom of the racetrack.
Jeremy Sexton going to run the outside. Worked out for Jason Gunnels last time. Will not get the same run that the Zero car did. As Sexton's going to throw a slide job. Going to just get in front of Fernandez. Fernandez going to turn back down the hill. Going to go side by side at the line. Too close to call for the lap lead. Fernandez is going to throw another slide job. Not going to go all the way up. Sexton's going to run around the outside. That outside working well. Sideways on the top side. Going to keep it straight. Fernandez is going to throw it up into the lead.
Yeah, that's a real sketchy spot there off turn number 2. You get up, that wall comes up quick, and you can really easily lose a toe link and break that right front. Oh, contact for the lead. They get into each other. Looks like Sexton lifted there to keep him out of the wall there. But yeah, some contact there, and it's a tight battle all the way through. That's the top 7 right there, all in one frame virtually.
Yeah, it was about 2 lanes, or 2 rows for 7 cars there. As they're going to go 3 wide once again for the lead. Sexton on the outside, Fernandez in the middle, Ryan on the bottom. Simmons going to look to the middle now, 4 wide for a second there. Ryan's able to make it work on the bottom, not quite enough to clear anyone, though. They're going to stay 3 wide for that race lead. All 3 lanes working beautifully right now. It just shows how dynamic this racetrack is right now, as Sexton is going to get the run off of turn number 2. Going to stay with a nose ahead of Fernandez going down into 3.
Oh, they battle side by side getting into turn 3 there. Sexton kept it a little tighter there, a little neat and tidy. And Devin Fernandez working inside of him now as they're off into turn number 1. Looks like that momentum's going to prevail, though, for Jeremy Sexton in that number 20 car on the outside.
Dylan Simmons in the 33 there, going to follow Sexton on the top side, trying to make the run work just the same as Jeremy did. As it seems like everyone is starting to filter to the top side, as it is a heck of a race right now, a heck of a heat race. Side-by-side contact between Simmons and Fernandez. Going to keep it straight. Fernandez going to dive really low into the corner, but it seems like Simmons on that top line is going to take away second from the 48.
So we're coming back 3 laps to go here as they fire off into turn 1 once again. And we see Tyler Ryan all the way up to the top shelf further back there in that 47, actually touching the wall a little bit there. And that battle for the 5th spot could be exciting as we get down to the end. There's a good 3-4-way battle going on back there.
Very, very tight racing. All these guys that we currently see in the top 5 in that transfer spot. I believe everyone is going to go. Monaghan, though, looking to make a run, trying to maybe put it 3 wide here, get that final transfer spot as they stay side by side between Ryan and Castle. Dylan Simmons actually very, very close on the back bumper of Jeremy Sexton as we take the white flag here at Eldora. They're going to go into 1 and 2, front nose to tail. Simmons might throw a slide job here. Is going to keep it on the top. It is just a heat race, so not trying to lose everything right now. As we come back to the checkered flag, it's going to be Jeremy Sexton, your heat winner.
And a tight battle for the 4th position, but 5th is going to go to Seth Castle. 4th going to be Tyler Ryan. They were side by side at the line. Unfortunately, 6th place not involved, and there at the end kind of lost ground there. But top 5 going to transfer through, and now we're looking at a B main. We're going to skip right to the B main now. And looks like 18 will transfer from the B main here. So I'm not sure, but I think nobody's going to be going home the way it stands.
Yeah, I see 21 scheduled to run. However, I don't believe all of them are here. Almost a majority are not here, but we will go through your starting grid and show you who's going to be sitting here in this B main event. It's going to be James Ellington starting on pole for the B main with Evan Monaghan to his outside. Hunter Hayden in 3rd in the 92. Dakota Denyu in the 46 to his outside. Carter Long is going to be inside of row number 3 with Nathan Tripod to his outside in 6th. Tyler Clunan going to be in P7 in this B main. Stevie Routh in 8th. Merrick Mashburn in 9th tonight. And Isaiah Murphy rounding out your top 10.
Looking back to 11th, we got Jordan Vrooman and Cam E. Thompson. Then we got Troy Sipple and Matt Urban. Levi Stagman in 15th, and then 16th, Blake Kennedy. Of course, Blake Kennedy not racing. Dylan Foss, Randy Cornwell, Brody Norton, and Dylan Bongiovanni. And rounding out the field, Carter Cornwell. Of course, many of those guys not in the session here, so we'll see how it shapes up as we take the green. Right now, we're seeing only a handful of cars on the racetrack right now. So, looks like everyone's going to transfer through from this. However, this gets you a little further up in the field for your starting position. Of course, a long race, but, you know, it helps to start further forward, even if it's not that much further forward. Regardless, here's your race info.
15 laps here for this B main with a race distance of 7.5 miles. That's really all we need to know. Track temp is staying firm at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is currently just about 7:30 game time. 6 drivers here as James Ellington's going to fire off early, take the green flag. Evan Monaghan to his outside as they lead him to green for this 15-lap B main.
Yeah, and Of course, starting position matters, but also a little extra practice for these guys in this race as well. Nothing really on the line other than how far forward you start from the tail end, but these guys maybe can learn something about where to find grip and where to work the track throughout the night here. Is track a little more worn down. We're going to refarm it for the feature event, but you know, the little opportunity here to get a look at how that track might wear as the night goes on. So we see that one car all the way to the top of the racetrack looking for a little bit of grip up there.
Yeah, Ellington, Monaghan, two dirt street stock regulars. I've seen Denu running that as well. So the three of them, all guys who run dirt street stocks pretty consistently, proving that they do by being in the top three here. Tyler Clunan, looking to the inside, actually going to make the pass temporarily on Dakota Denu for that third position. Going to get real sideways there through turn 3, however. And it seems like since there's only those 6 cars here in this B main, or actually Hunter Hayden quite a bit behind the field, running P7. He's got nothing to worry about, though. He will transfer through to the A main. But that means we're going to have 17 cars here for the A main tonight, assuming everyone that is in this B main decides to start, and everyone who transferred already starts as well. Ellington out to a pretty sizable lead so far. Was 0.4 there. Shrinked a little bit with Monaghan getting a nice run off of turn 4. Ellington going to run the cushion there on the outside, just on that wall, getting a good run off of it. But these two pretty much holding steady, 1-2 with a bit over a second gap on third place Dakota Denu.
Yeah, spread out pretty good here. You see these guys trying some different lines. Looks like the top is more or less going to be the place to be, at least, you know, in certain parts of the night. You know, the additional banking up there and the help of the cushion, you sit that right rear right up there and you can really use that. Of course, guys really going to want to save that right rear tire, and I've got to think part of that is using a lot less throttle, and maybe the bottom helps with that, but at the same time, you want that grip and you want to get up to full throttle as quick as you can on that bottom so you can get the run down the straight. So it'll be interesting to see how guys manage their tires, manage their lanes as the night goes on. But the track worn in quite nicely here. Like I said, it's going to be refarmed for our feature event, but 100 laps will wear it right down all over again, and it should be a heck of a show here.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, these guys able to run all the lines still. I'm kind of shocked that outside hasn't come in more than it is in so far. Usually Eldora is the type of track that goes to the outside early and kind of just stays there. I mean, you might have the inside come back in a lot later into the night, but these guys still able to run both lines, which means the outside is yet to come in, as I'm not sure what they're resetting the track to, if we're resetting the track after the B main here. Monaghan actually making the outside work. I believe he's closing the gap to that 17 of Ellington up in the front.
Just wanted to add in there, the track is going to reset for the feature to 20%, so it's not going to be completely green, completely fresh, but just a little, almost like real life. You run a couple hot laps, some pace laps and whatnot, and it'll get set in nicely to start the race. And then, of course, as the night goes on, they'll wear it right in, and should be a great show. And I will admit, hand up, using the wall right there is Monaghan, and almost right up to the back bumper of Ellington there. But what I was going to say, hand up, I'll admit, you know a lot more than I do when it comes to dirt racing, and especially these dirt street stocks, so I'm kind of following your lead a little bit on a lot of this.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely run my fair share of 100 lappers at Eldora, and usually I'm used to going to the top. Monaghan with a good run last lap, like you mentioned, on the outside. Seemed like that run kind of faded immediately after he got it, as Ellington's going to take the white flag here. Second place, Evan Monaghan. Third place, Dakota Denu. So we've got 1 to go. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any challenge to that 17 car from Evan Monaghan. Then we're going to throw a slider line through 3 and 4. And it's going to be Brian Ellington taking home the B main win here. He will be starting at P11 tonight. Evan Monaghan will be 12th. Dakota Denu 13th, Tyler Clunan 14th, Nathan Tripod. Oh my goodness! What finish did we just miss? Stevie Ralph takes over the 5th place spot in the B main as they were side by side going across the line. Nathan Tripod 6th and Hunter Hayden in P7 for that heat race. As we are going to get to the A main feature event.
Yeah, lights coming on here at the Eldora Speedway. Should be very exciting here. This track, of course, always puts on a great show. I'm more familiar with the NASCAR trucks around here, but regardless, I feel like this place always puts on a real good race.
For sure. As we're going to go through our feature starting grid, Jason Gunnell's going to be on the pole in that number 0. Jeremy Sexton to his outside in the 2020. Dakota Proud sits on the inside of row 2 after finishing at 2nd in that first heat race. Dylan Simmons to his outside. Tyler Reed will start in 5th with Devin Fernandez starting in P6. Jacob Stefanski starts in 7th. Tyler Ryan to his outside in 8th. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Jeremy Berger in the 99 and Seth Castle in the 4.
Looking back at row 6 and 11th, we've got James Ellington alongside Evan Monaghan. Then we've got Dakota Denyu and Tyler Clunan. Further back, Stevie Routh. We saw that exciting finish there briefly, and alongside him, Nathan Tripod. And rounding our field will be Hunter Hayden. The rest of the drivers have either left or disconnected from the session, so they will not be involved here tonight. You'll see the names pop by on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, definitely a good field we have here tonight. As Jason Gunnell's, Jeremy Sexton, 2 formidable opponents here at Eldora. Going to be duking it on, and I think there's quite a few drivers who could have a shot at the win tonight. A lot of really high-rated drivers. We're going to look at your race info real quick before we get to the green flag. We have 100 laps, 50 miles race distance. Track temperature has gone down slightly, 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Current SOF is 2.3K. However, I believe this feature field is a bit higher than that. In-game time, 8:47. So it's gone quite a bit through the night as we're going to be racing into the sunset as Jason Gunnell's, Jeremy Sexton, side by side, going to shoot off of turn number 4 and go green for 100 lap of racing here at Eldora.
Racing off turn number 2, they're side by side for that lead, and this IgniteSRN 100 should be a great show. Lots of different lanes being chosen right now, and lots of dust flying, guys just trying to find their way around this racetrack. And of course, the further back you are, a lot more of that dust you deal with. So far staying relatively limited, but 3 wide up front and actually firing through for the lead, going to be Jeremy Sexton.
Sexton with an early move to the lead. Likely when we see him take the lead this early, it's hard to get it back from him, as he will set the fastest lap of the race while doing so. But it's going to be Dakota Proud to his inside, actually making quite a good move down there. Gets side by side with him for a minute. However, Sexton is able to go back around his outside here, as some good racing already at the front. Ton of dust here on this tacky Eldora Speedway, as Jeremy Sexton holding off the field currently. Gunnels and Proud running different lines. Gunnels on the high side, Proud on the bottom, both making it work, but it seems like Proud right now has the upper hand on Gunnels, is going to take away that 2nd place spot and gun for your race leader, Jeremy Sexton.
Yeah, I was going to say, have a look at Gunnels. He's going to look like he's going to get side by side for 2nd at the very least. He's found something on that outside, and I think Jeremy saw that as well, and he just moved up to that top lane. That cushion up there, nice and thick right now, and lots of room and grip to work with. We might see the top take over for a little bit as that bottom wears out a little bit and maybe gets a little dusty, a little messed up. That top lane, you can carry that momentum all the way around the corner. But lots of great, clean, green racing so far, and these guys are really going at it. It's so much fun to watch these cars go around this racetrack.
Absolutely, and you can see how these guys are working the top side. This is on board with Tyler J. Reed as he follows that 0 car. You can see, how close these guys are getting to the outside wall, how they're navigating the cushion, trying not to go over it and slam into that outside wall, but it's giving them a nice run up there on the top. Oh, we do have a caution flag here on the speedway. We're gonna.
On the front stretch, unfortunately, Devin Fernandez and Dylan Simmons involved as they pull away. Looks like not too much damage for either car, but we'll get a look at the replay here, perhaps, and maybe get a better idea of what happened.
You see, Devin Fernandez comes up the track and just clobbers the 33 of Dylan Simmons. They both, at least Simmons goes around. Fernandez has nowhere to go, fires off after sitting for a minute. Let's get one more replay on that incident.
Yeah, of course, and no harm, no foul there. Both guys definitely going to be able to continue. Of course, it's cause a caution, 3-strike rule, but cause a caution, you're going to go to the rear, and if you cause 3 of them, you're going to be removed from the race or disqualified. So, I mean, obviously you don't want to burn up a strike early, but frankly, that one will be okay. Those 2 cars back going, of course, and they'll be back here to compete the rest of the night.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it looked like there. I just don't think Fernandez assumed that Simmons was going to be off the wall. Simmons was on the outside going through the corner. Looked like came down maybe a lane off the wall, and Fernandez, expecting him to be up there, kind of just ran through him. So seems like a bit of a racing deal right there. No, neither driver, or at least I should say Fernandez, not expecting the 33 to be where he was. So that will bring out our first caution flag. It looks like pits are not going to be a busy place this race. Yeah,
of course. No tire changes, no fuel, no fueling. So really, you're only going to be paying for damage, and those 2 cars stay out on track is a little bit of a checkup further back in the field as they try to get ready for the green flag.
Yeah, we're going to see pace car lights are out. These guys on dirt like to. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not live. My mistake there, as Jeremy Sexton is going to fire off through turn number 2. I must have been on replay by accident. As we see, they're still side by side for second. Gunnels to the outside. Reed right behind him. Proud working that bottom line, trying to save some tires and negotiate, trying to get some speed down there as well.
Yeah, and once again, these restarts seem to run the track in, clean up kind of the, I don't know, better term for it per se, but those marbles, and clean it up, flatten it out, and we see the track widen out all over again. Not really any designated lanes formed just yet, other than that top lane right against that cushion, and you see those guys using all of it. Of course, that onboard we saw before, you can see how close these guys really are to that wall, and they're right on that razor's edge right there as we're watching them. Right up there on the outside, got to the back bumper of Gunnels, but didn't quite touch him, I don't think. But definitely using that right rear on the wall, and I don't know if anyone's going to have any paint left on their right rear at the end of the night, the way this looks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the better question is I'm not sure if the Eldora Speedway is going to have any white left on its walls, as these guys are rubbing it down so much. But Gunnels is still side by side with Proud. Those 2 not being able to figure it out, as of course I say that, he runs around the outside and clears Proud, at least for the moment. Yeah, Proud might be losing a little bit of time down there on the bottom, but as I mentioned, he's going to be saving those tires, being able to keep the car just a bit straighter and spin those tires a little less, and obviously there's a bit less distance traveled. Going to save those tires for a bit later. Still 86 laps to go as he shoots up to the outside. Jacob Stefanski is going to look low in the 23, and they're going to go through turn number 3 as Jeremy Sexton is still going to be your race leader.
These laps clicking off fairly decently, or fairly quickly rather, and now we're seeing a lot of cars migrate to the top of that racetrack.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of collectively putting together that the top lane is the lane to be. Tyler Reed trying to shoot underneath Jason Gunnels, but even though he had the run, it just really went nowhere, as Gunnels is going to stay ahead of him in P2. These guys, there's a couple battles going on throughout the field. Brent Ellington to the inside of Dakota Denyu. These 2 going to be side by side, and not a whole lot of passing on this racetrack currently, as everyone is single filed out on the top side. Dakota Denyu hard into the outside wall. Actually It hits the wall so hard that he rockets forward and hits into the back of Seth Castle in the 4. Yeah, other than Ellington on the bottom there, everyone else on the top side. Tyler Ryan also down on the bottom, but he's not really battling for anything. I think he's just trying to save some tires as Dakota Denu pulls down to the inside and will reset. Not sure what that's about, but I'm assuming the 46 race is done. So that's...
Yeah, he has disconnected right there.
Yeah, 2 cars out of the race. It's going to be the 46 of Dakota Denu and the 198 of Stevie Ralph. So unfortunate to see both of them going out so early. But we still have 80 laps to go at the line this time.
Yeah, this track wearing in quite nicely there. You see these guys using up that cushion quite a lot. A lot of guys up top, and you know that frustration, at least I know from personal experience, you get a little frustrated following that car up top for so long that you try and make that bottom work, and we've seen a little bit of that from Ellington as he worked the bottom and actually moved forward quite well from his starting spot back in 11th place. He's up looking for 5th right now on the inside, and you see those guys right up against that wall all the way around the racetrack right now.
Yeah, actually, I feel like everyone is moving to the top, and all of a sudden we had maybe 4 or 5 cars, maybe 6 now, onto the bottom, just like that. As you're going to see our race leader go to the bottom, Jeremy Sexton will move to that more that middle lane, not quite running all the way up on the wall, and just about the entire field follows. So Sexton's been bad fast today. Everyone wants to follow what he's doing.
That middle lane tends to come in here at Eldora a little bit as a couple guys running on the bottom and everyone else on the top, and you start to get a little bit of that cushion form in the middle, and there can be some grip right there, and you see those guys starting to use it as we see contact with Ellington right at the top of the screen there. Just caught the left rear of I believe it was the 2 car right there getting off the corner. No harm, no foul. They'll keep on going, but we got a spin in 3 and 4. Oh, not quite. They kept it straight.
Jeremy Berger gets tagged by, I believe that was Seth Castle, and Hunter Heaton goes, he started last, 17th today, comes up to P7 currently. I believe he was last in that second, or in that B main, excuse me. So he's had a great day up to P7 in the 92, but near disaster between Seth Castle and Jeremy Berger. They both keep it straight though, and both get a little bit of a damage for their effort. A big battle here for 9th place, but I believe, yeah, here comes a battle for the lead. Jeremy Sexton under attack from Jason Gunnels. Gunnels has found some pace in a different line than Sexton, but will not be able to get clear of him.
Yeah, I've been quite impressed with Gunnels here tonight. Not a name that I've heard before. Of course, I'm not quite as well versed in the dirt street stock world as you may be, but he's really impressed me tonight with how he's run, and now we're seeing almost the cushion kind of move down a bit, move down the racetrack a little bit here, as all those guys have really worked in that middle now. And it very interesting and exciting to see all the different lanes in play here, and he might have a look to the outside of Jeremy Sexton at the line he is.
Sexton's going to slide him up. Short slider there from the 2020 car, as Gunnels is going to pull back down to the bottom. Gunnels, a guy I have raced with a good bit, as we're going to get another caution flag out on the speedway.
12 and 19 cars.
Yeah, Tyler Clune and Evan Monaghan involved here. Let's go get an instant replay. So we're going through turns 3 and 4 side by side, racing hard here. It looks like Clunan slips up a little bit. Nibbles on the, huge hit to the outside wall. Yeah, it looks like Clunan got a little sideways. Right rear caught Monaghan's left rear. It looked like tire to tire that caught Monaghan out, spun him halfway around, and led to more contact than there really should have been with contact that light. But sometimes that's what happens with iRacing and the damage model that we see here on the service. You see, yeah, those two come together very slightly and shoots Monaghan around and lands them both into the outside wall. Both going to be able to continue here, I believe. Doesn't seem like any severe damage to the two.
Yeah, it looks like you might have got away with one there. Of course, hitting nose into that outside wall, and yeah, I mean, just another racing deal, and we see that quite a lot here. I mean, we kind of saw that with the first caution, just getting off turn 4, it seems like lanes get almost a little crossed up and guys get into each other a little bit like that. The first time was into the quarter panel, and that time was the other way around.
We're going to get back to the restart here shortly. It's going to be Jeremy Sexton, your leader, Jason Gunnels the outside, both sitting quite a bit behind the pace truck, as pace truck is going to pull into pit lane right about now. We're going to see the field stack up and get back up to the leaders as the Sexton's field to launch, and there he goes, fires off, and we're going to be green flag here on lap 30 of 100 here at Eldora.
And seems like under caution, of course, that cushion flattened out all over again, and those lanes wide open once again, and maybe the top side might prevail, but Gunnell's going to look to the inside, and if he can get off the corner, oh, not quite, did not quite lead the lap, but he's side by side with Jeremy Sexton for the lead.
Yeah, both of those two are having great races tonight, as you see Jacob Stefanski go to the outside of Jason Gunnels. Brian Ellington there in 5th place, came from the B main, having a great run here in this feature event. We're going to see contact between Stefanski and Reed coming down onto the front stretch. It looks like they're going back to the high side as we left it for a little bit. These Sexton's, I guess, lane searching right now, as you see Stefanski bounce off of that outside wall, get a nice run. We're going to be 3 wide for 2nd place.
Such exciting racing as they fan out once again into turn number 1, and that 3-wide battle looks like Morgan's going to get the worst end of that on the inside, not the momentum he wanted getting off the corner.
It's going to be Stefanski up into 2nd temporarily. Looks like he'll have the run to get around Jason Gunnels and finally have a new competitor there into 2nd place. Stefanski was the fastest in practice. See if he's going to be able to challenge the ever-dominating Jeremy Sexton up at the front. Brian Ellington goes to P3, or at least is looking for P3 as they go 3 wide for 3rd. It's going to be 3 of them with Reed and Gunnels on the bottom. Ellington still on the top. Looks like Ellington and that top side are going to make it work. It's going to be very top-heavy for now, at least, as Proud goes up there as well. And it looks like it might spell trouble for that 0 car getting freight trained if he can't get up to the top really soon. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, contact there, and Gunnels, worst end of that, he's going to go backwards. I apologize, I called Tyler Reed mine in previously there, so I apologize for that mistake. That's that white car on the inside, and he looks like he's going to get passed on the outside.
Slide job.
Dakota Proud and Slider for the lead there. Sorry about that.
Jeremy Sexton, Jacob Stefanski dicing it up here. Contact on the bottom. Both going to keep it straight for now. Stefanski, known as one of the more aggressive dirt street stock drivers, so not a surprise to see him throw a slider like that. Will get crossed back over by Sexton and go right back to 2nd place. But I would not be surprised to see him attempt another move like that very soon, as the field is still very close up in the top.
Yeah, and that's one thing you really gotta love about these street stocks. You can kind of bounce off each other a little bit and, might slow each other down, but nobody's really too worse for wear after all that contact in the quarter panels and whatnot. They're all still going, and they're all still keeping their speed up, and we've got another battle for the lead forming. And how about Ellington on that inside? He started 11th, won the B main event, and he continues to work forward, and he's challenging for that 2nd position. That's that 17, number 17 blue car, blue and orange there.
Yeah, having a great run for himself, as we mentioned. Started in that B main, won the B main, and started at P11 on the field today, is up 8. So great run for the 17 car, as they're going to go side by side again for the lead temporarily. Jacob Stefanski trying to make anything work. Nothing happens quite yet. I believe that's the 2J dirt street stock machine, listed as the 23 on the service. As Dakota Proud also still running in P4, Tyler Reed in 5th. As we look back a little bit through the field, we're going to see Seth Castle up into P7, Berger in 8th. Those two got together a little earlier and are still running neck and neck here. Tyler Ryan on the bottom, most likely trying to make those tires last, as I believe Tyler Reed, the two Tylers down onto the bottom line, both doing the same thing, as Reed's actually going to gain a bit of ground there. Gets side by side with Proud for a moment. Going to shoot back up to the outside as we're going to see Ellington go to the bottom of Stefanski there for a second too.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but you continue to see it now as the lane is definitely got a lot more narrow and guys are hitting the wall a lot more. You want to take care of that right front and your steering column, as you can very easily snap that steering and lose the toe in the right front, and you know, not a deal breaker per se, but will definitely affect the handling of these cars if you mess up that steering getting into the wall, and especially off turn 2, that wall can come up real quick on you.
For sure. Actually, I believe I hear a lap car. That's Tyler Clunan directly in front of the field, still on the lead lap, but sitting 16 and a half seconds behind and in sight from your leader, Sexton. It's going to be tough for him to stay on the lead lap, hoping for a caution in that 12 and 15th place car, as we're going to see side by side again a little more frequently now through the field, both for third and for fifth. Reed huge into the outside wall, not going to hurt him too much, as riding the wall here is just about as effective as any other lane. So you're going to see guys plowing into that high side.
Yeah, these guys tagging the wall quite a bit here, so definitely that outside lane is narrowed up, that grip has gone down, and try and find that speed wherever they can. But of course that grip strip, if you want to call it that, a lot narrower than it was earlier on, and you really got to hit it right if you're going to make speed up there. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in that outside wall.
100%. I mean, yeah, see Tyler Reed into the wall again there, going down into turn 1. Having a bit of trouble keeping it off, but I don't think it's necessarily hurting him there in the 58, as he's able to get to the inside of Dakota Proud. Inside not quite working for these guys quite yet. So I'm going to have to wait a little longer, as we're going to hit the halfway point on this race as we cross the line here. That means 50 more laps to get that top side to kind of go away a little bit and open up the lane on the bottom. Stefanski's still chomping at the bit to try to get around Jeremy Sexton up front, not able to make it happen quite yet.
And further back in the field, we still got a good handful of bottom feeders. Of course, the 47, Tyler Ryan, has definitely been known for running that bottom, and maybe a few more guys starting to migrate down the track a little bit, trying to keep it off the wall and battle for the lead now. It looks like Stefanski's going to give Jeremy Sexton all he can handle up there, as he got a big run off turn 4, and he's bouncing off the wall off turn 2 there. Gonna lose a touch of ground, but he's right there, I feel like.
Absolutely. I mean, he's giving it everything here. You can see him, how hard he's driving that Tuche, and he's just, with the bounce off the wall there, able to, loses a little bit of ground, but not too much, keeps it straight and able to keep making up ground. It seems like he's running a bit lower than Sexton in turn 3 and 4, as you can see it right there. Those two side by side, and running more identical lines in 1 and 2. So that's where you see the speed difference between the two of them, as Stefanski not able to quite make up the ground that he's hoping to, at least not quite yet, as the top, I believe, 7 have stayed just about frozen, as we see a battle. Clued into the inside wall, and that's going to be a caution flag, our third of the night here at Eldora.
Yeah, unfortunate right there. Hate to see that. Of course, just went a lap down, and he's going to tow that thing back to pit road, and I believe that might be the end of his night. We'll have a look here at what happened.
Yeah, such a shame to see. He's going into turn 2, turn 4, running the bottom, gets sideways, clips the inside wall, and goes for a loop. Actually, I'll be able
he drove it to pit road.
And then
towed from there. Okay. Yeah, unfortunate for him. And definitely a good driver, and I think he just got short end of the stick here tonight. And unfortunately went a lap down, as we saw. But credit to him, he got out of the way of the leaders and gave them the chance to get by him cleanly. And got to respect him for that, for sure. Definitely a good driver.
Yeah, I mean, if you are going to wreck as a lap car, especially when you're getting lapped, that's the way you want to do it. Out of the way, it's a harmless spin that just kind of ends your night, which is unfortunate for the 12 of Tyler Clunan. We appreciate him coming out to join us tonight from the American Thunder Super Speedway crowd. So quite a bit of a different scene going from the NASCAR C-Class trucks to at super speedways to dirt street stocks at a half-mile dirt oval here. Real quick, before we go back green, take a look at your mid-race info. 53 of 100 complete here tonight. 3 cautions. Caution laps obviously don't count. 16 still in the session. Only 1 lead change with Sexton taking over the race lead. An average lap time of about 19.5 seconds around this racetrack. Sexton's going to launch it back to green flag racing. Stefanski with a less than optimal restart in second. Sexton's going to get a huge lead out to the front. Brian Ellington going to throw a slide job, going to clear up for second. A heck of a move there. Stefanski's going to turn back down to the inside. They're going to go side by side into turn number 3 as Stefanski's going to throw that slider not quite all the way up to the top. As he's going to leave Ellington a lane, closes it off now. Stefanski back to second.
What a moment off, in turns 1 and 2 there. Gotta think both those guys were white-knuckling it, hoping and praying that they'd make it through the other end, and now they're back at it once again into turn 3 side by side. Ellington's put on an amazing show. Gotta give him his flowers here, as he's worked that bottom and just progressively made his way up through the field all night long. Of course, coming through that B main, but now he's working in this top 3, and
contact!
We got crashed further back.
Huge incident.
Hard in the outside wall.
Gunnels and I believe that's Jeremy Berger both involved there. It's going to be a caution flag here on lap 57. Let's go and look at a replay.
Man, I was just praising him earlier. Unfortunately, it seems he got shuffled back in the field, and this is a bit of a product of that. There is, tagged a little bit, hit the outside wall, and then, big hit for that other car, that Red Bull car there, into the outside wall.
An unfortunate end of the night, most likely end of the night for those 2 drivers. I mean, they were both having really good runs here. It seemed like Castle came up a little too high, maybe net coated into the front bumper of the Zero, and Gunnels just kind of got stacked up with the contact there, and Berger was right on him, and it just turned him right into that outside wall. Ryan also with a piece of damage there, but yeah, definitely the 99 and the 0 bookending the field on numbers, but getting the worst of it there. So unfortunate to see those 2 involved.
Yeah, I really hate to see that for sure. Those 2 drivers that we know are very talented, very good. Sounds like hardware issue apparently for someone out there. Not sure what's going on with that, but we're double back up, and we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Jeremy Sexton still maintaining that lead as we close in on 40 laps to go. Still quite a ways to go, and maybe the opportunity for that tire saving to play a factor for some of these guys. We'll have to wait and see.
We're going to see Jeremy Sexton to launch in the restart zone. We're going to go back green flag racing here with, I believe we have 43 laps to go. It's going to be Ellington and Stefanski side by side for second. Ellington's going to try to throw another slide job. The lane isn't there. Stefanski's going to be able to ride it out on the top side and get around the 17 truck or car.
Truck, car, they're all the same to us these days, aren't they? But how about Ellington there? Every time he's just hanging around, and giving himself an opportunity. I just can't stop. Can't stop mentioning him. Big moment right there, but I wanted to say, he's really hanging out there and staying in that top 3 ever since he got there, so good for him. And giving himself a chance here as the race rages on, and 3 wide down the front straightaway there.
Oh, Ellington's going to slide up in front of Reed, not going to slide up in front of Stefanski, not quite far enough alongside. Stefanski's going to bang on the door, his door on the wall there, as they're going to go still stay 3 wide. It's going to get tied off of turn 4. Contact between Stefanski and Ellington, as Stefanski's not going to be happy about that one. Ellington pinches him to the outside wall, but gets that second place spot. Reed to the inside. I do want to mention really quickly, while these guys are 3 wide bouncing off of each other, I did mention Berger's race was done. He actually stays out and is running 11th, so we'll see the 99 continue to run here, but I think in a minute here we're not going to see a lot of these guys continue to run if they're running the way they are.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, just unbelievable driving that they haven't crashed bigger here tonight. Just credit to all these guys, but getting off into turn 3 wide, and all that momentum's got to go somewhere, and it's all going up to that outside wall. They got to turn at some point, And thankfully, all these guys managing to keep it very clean, it seems like. But, oh, another wall tag for Proud there. And that's going to allow a couple cars to get by on the inside, and looks like tagged it again in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Devin Fernandez making a huge push on the inside line. I don't know where he came from, honestly, but he's here now. Got the tires, maybe spent the entire front part of the race saving them. As Tyler Ryan also looking forward in the field. The 47, 48, both making work on the bottom. Seems like they're gaining ground on the guys who used their tires up a little earlier. So, heck of a strategy call from these two as we approach 35 laps to go in this one. Sexton's still out front with Ellington in second. Those two have pulled away from the field just a bit as Reed and Fernandez are going to battle here for the third place spot.
Seems like Sexton, very, very cerebral driver. He saw a thing or two and moved right down to the bottom there through 3 and 4 and looked like he was trying to block that off a little bit. Might be bottom 3 and 4 now. The way these guys are running, that top might be going away a little bit at that end of the racetrack, but these guys still ripping that wall pretty good in 1 and 2, and he's going to go right back up to that cushion there and work it around the fence, tapping that right rear a little bit. Like I said, that paint on the right rear, I mean, almost reminds me of the Dome in St. Louis, where you don't even really care about your right rear panel.
Huge slide job from Dakota Proud there as he goes up in front of Castle. Castle's going to do the same back to him as we're throwing slide jobs for 6th place here on the racetrack. Proud's going to actually get all the way back up and clear Castle there. As, yeah, it seems like that top side is starting to go away as these guys are having to hit the wall to keep it fast. And you really don't want to be tapping that outside wall too much because, you know, you tap it too hard here and there, you're going to get yourself some right rear wheel damage and maybe even throw out your alignment, and obviously you don't want to deal with that as we still have over 30 laps to go in this one. But you see a lot of guys, and one spins in the back. It's going to be Jacob Stefanski. Seth Castle goes around as well. They stay green. Now the caution will come out here on the racetrack.
Yeah, not what we want to see there. Saw a couple of body panels sliding around the track there. Looks like his car is not too worse for wear, but that other car there, the 4 car, I believe that was Stefanski, right?
Yeah, Stefanski there gets tagged as a terrible slide job from Dakota Proud. Seth Castle will get tagged. Berger barely misses it. We'll keep it on the racetrack here. We'll get one more onboard, so or more view of this. See if we can kind of see the slide job and what built up to that from the 19 car. You see Dakota Proud trying to go for a slide job, I believe, on Castle there. Throws it a little too hard. Doesn't expect Stefanski to be so far down the track and just tags the both of them. And we see the 4 of Seth and the 2J of Stefanski go for a spin. Unfortunate, but I don't believe either of them have major damage at the moment, so be able to keep it going here and stay on the racetrack here with 30 laps to go.
Yeah, for sure. And Dakota Proud going to go to the rear. That caution was put on him by race control. But benefit of the doubt there for me, at least. It looked like he was trying to throw a slider, get down the inside, work that bottom, and just couldn't quite get the right rear swung out enough. And it kind of just went straight on him, unfortunately. I don't think that's what he intended to do there. That was just unfortunate racing deal.
Yeah, I would agree. It really looked like he was trying to throw a slide job on Castle and overdid it and got it to Stefanski. He was clear Castle, though, so at least you can give him that as we've got 30 laps to go here. It looks like the pace car's lights are going to stay on one more time around. I believe we have 12 left in the session with 30 laps to go. Currently, your leader is...
Pace truck's off here.
Oh, okay. We're going to go green flag and replay again. I'm not sure what's happening with my... Yeah, oops. My game was in replay by accident. Jeremy Sexton's going to hold on to the race lead as we're going to go side by side. Oh, almost contact there between Fernandez and Ellington as they're going to keep it straight and keep it clean.
I was going to say, that's probably the most challenged Jeremy Sexton has been on a restart all night, as Ellington was right on his back bumper getting into turn 3, and he's still... tagged the wall right there. Going to lose some ground there. couple car lengths, but he was right there right on his back bumper getting into 3 a lap ago. And gonna have to wind it back up here. But how about Devin Fernandez on that inside, still continuing to work, and always slides up a little bit there. Not quite sure that's what he wanted to do, but hanging tough there on the inside of James Ellington, and he continues to work on that bottom there, continuing to move forward, and he's looking for that second place position.
Yeah, Ellington holds steady on the top. Fernandez not giving him an inch here as he runs the bottom. Look how much dirt is on the front end of these race cars this deep into the race. Lap 74 of 100, and they've been running it hard here as they're covered with dirt on the front end of those machines. So maybe that is affecting temperatures here, but Fernandez been a bit of a tire whisperer today. Been able to work his way through the field on what I believe is less used tires than everyone else, as he's been able to keep the car straighter and not getting quite as much wheel spin and tire wear as the others on the racetrack. So he's going to go to second temporarily.
It makes me real nervous, but credit to him, he's hung on to it well, but getting right on that inside wall in a lot of these corners. And, I mean, perhaps that's where the grip is. And now we see Jeremy Sexton going to drop to the bottom of the racetrack there. Slides up a little bit, though. He's not keeping it quite as low, quite as straight as Fernandez. And that might be a little bit of an ace up the sleeve for that car. Is sliding up on Ellington there that time, though. It's, they're using each other up a little bit here. Lots of exciting racing going on.
Yeah, Brian Ellington able to hold on to second place temporarily. I mean, they're side by side, Fernandez and Ellington. Ellington running down on the track more than he was before and more than Sexton is in front of him, but it's working at the moment because I believe I saw Fernandez get all the way around him a couple laps ago. Ellington able to work it back through, throws a bit of a slider line through 3 and 4, gets second with kind of a good bit of a gap there, a whole car length between him and the 48.
Yeah, it seems like you, on that high side, part of what's making it go away right now is that you can't turn down the track in 3 and 4 and really get that momentum going down the straightaway, and that's where a lot of the benefit is. So that bottom in 3 and 4 definitely more beneficial. 1 and 2, it seems like still further up the track, at least to the middle is where you want to be. But wow, Jeremy Sexton's just put on a clinic when it comes to running that wall right now. As he's well, right as I say that, he dives back to the bottom in 3 and 4, but in 1 and 2 especially, he just seems to have a real good handle on all the bumps, all the dirt, all the rubber, and keeps it going.
Yeah, like I mentioned right at the start of the race, when he took that race lead, it's Ellington hard into the outside wall. Once Jeremy Sexton gets the lead, it's hard to take it away from him, and he's proven that today as he's not let up a single time. These guys need another caution to try to have another shot at the 2020. Going to be side by side for a little bit there as Ellington and Fernandez go side by side. Fernandez trying to throw a slide job to get around that 17 as they're kind of both pestering each other right now, and if anything letting Sexton pull away even more, but able to stay side by side here for another consecutive lap. Ellington really up on that outside again, trying to pull through to the outside of the 48, gets it done finally, gets back up into second place alone. I'm going to look a little back through the field. Tyler Reed into P4. We side by side between Tyler Ryan and Nathan Tripod. Tripod's going to throw a slider up in front of the 47. Try to turn back down the track. Not going to work. Ryan will get around him here. And Monaghan right behind those two, watching in the wings.
Yeah, and you see all the way around the outside of this racetrack is totally slicked off now, but still a little bit of grip for that right rear right up against that wall, almost like a Homestead Miami a little bit right at the end of the race, where it's how high can you take it without getting into that wall. And it seems like these guys are really trying to find that last little bit of grip up there, and it's working for some guys. But even Jeremy Sexton's moved down the racetrack a touch here, it seems like, and taps the wall there, but yeah.
As we see, they're dueling it up here as back in second place. Sexton's pulled to nearly a 1.5 second gap, as we're going to see Ellington and Fernandez go wheel to wheel once again Fernandez really, really trying to get past Ellington here. Not able to make it happen quite yet. Both these guys in the money as of right now. With just a short bit to go, 13 laps at the line. We are now on lap 88 of 100 here for the Ignite 100 at Eldora. And stay side by side here down into turn 3.
Yeah, real tight battle for that second position right there, and these two have really put on a show if you've been keeping an eye on it. Those fans in the stands gotta be enjoying this, as those two have been throwing haymakers at each other, and it's been quite exciting racing right there for second. They touch right there off turn number 2. Let's see what they do into turn number 3. Fernandez going to go down on the inside, and looks like he's going to clear and get away. Maybe not. A little bit of a crossover for Ellington. He's going to battle back to the inside, and
huge slide job. Almost contact there. Fernandez able to squeeze around the outside. I'm surprised Ellington didn't lose more ground there, as he's going to stay to the inside of the 48. This has allowed Tyler Reed in the 58 to get to the back bumper of these guys, and we might have a 3-car battle for second place here shortly.
Yeah, we have 10 laps to go now, and Jeremy Sexton, of course, is cleared out a little bit, but Fernandez gets clear now and maybe trying to set his sights forward and work that bottom lane. It's been real good to him tonight, and it seems like he can gain a little bit of ground on Sexton there, and I'm not sure if he'll have enough time to really work it through, but have to wait and see. He seems like he's got a real good handle on it compared to the guys behind him, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Fernandez at this point has better tire life than Sexton. Has the gap down under a second, 0.9 temporarily there as it shoots back up to 1 second. So if he's able to use that tire life to catch the back bumper of the 2020, it's, as they always say, it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, but seems like Fernandez having a tough time catching the back bumper of Sexton right now.
Yeah, for sure. And the lap's winding down quicker than he'd like, you gotta think. As we look further back, that's the battle for 4th position right there. And they're going to go, not quite side by side there, but that's, looks like Tyler Ryan going to move up to the 5th position. Good for him. He's been very patient all night, and now he's trying to move forward some more here. As lap's winding down, we're getting to 5 to go at the line here.
Fernandez has been able to close in more than I expected. Had it down to 0.75 there on the back straight. Able to close up the gap. I'm not sure if he's going to have a shot. Maybe deep slider range from on the last lap there. Sexton gets into the wall. That's going to help out the 48 a little bit, as we still see just under a second between the two. 0.8 this time by as we hit 4 laps to go.
What's really impressed me with Fernandez is that turn 4, the way he's able to keep it low and still find some speed there. And he's gaining a couple car lengths every corner entry, it seems like. I don't know that we're done here just yet.
These two are throwing sliders again for that 4th place position. Tyler Reed, Tyler Ryan, battle of the Tylers here, as they're going to go side by side with 3 laps to go. Jeremy Sexton still up front in your race lead. Nothing to see here. Gap isn't shrinking anymore. Fernandez has leveled off on pace. Ellington holding steady in 3rd. Ryan finally clears Reed for 4th.
Yeah, Fernandez lost a little bit there. It's going to take one final push here with 2 laps to go here at Eldora in the Ignite 100. And Sexton looks like he might have just enough gap to keep him back there. So we're going to come around to the white flag time by.
Oh. Ellington spins around. It looks like we're going to take the white anyways.
No caution, yeah.
We're going to stay green. Jeremy Sexton going to go to the point. Oh, what a shame for Brian Ellington there. Spins out with just a lap and a half to go. But Jeremy Sexton going to dominate tonight's race at Eldora, and he will take home the win here in the IgniteSRN 100 at Eldora.
The fireworks are going to fire off. There's going to be flames and all the pyro here as we get used to, or as we're used to here at Eldora Speedway. What a race we saw here tonight, and what a dominant performance for Jeremy Sexton to get it done. I mean, just incredible job on his part. never seemed to set a wheel wrong. He tagged the wall a couple times, but never tagged it hard enough to cause any real damage, and seems like he got it done as best as you probably could here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy Sexton, class of the field, 8,000 iRating, and just really, really hard to beat, especially when he's starting up front and gets the lead so early. I mean, he's going to pull around to victory lane here and keep it off the wall, and we'll get a nice photo opportunity here as he pulls his car right up to the Eldora Speedway banner. Sponsors on that thing: Cocky Floyd Consulting, Sexton Paint and Body, KR1 Technologies, Ethan Johnson Racing, Gage Farms, JPAC Graphics, Doghouse Chassis, and I'm sure there's more on there. And he will be your winner here tonight. Before we let you go, I'd like to take one more replay look at that last lap incident with James Ellington there. Unfortunate to see him go around in the fashion that he did. Not too sure exactly what happened here, but yeah, we're racing with just 1.5 laps to go. Collects the inside or the outside wall, and oh, that's heartbreaking right there. Brian Ellington, tough end of the night. Just just calls it a night, toes back to the pits. As we're going to take a look at your race results here. Jeremy Sexton taking home your race win in the 2020 car out in front. Devin Fernandez is not able to make up that gap, settles for a P2 here tonight. Tyler Ryan benefits from Brian Ellington's misfortune there with just 2 laps to go. It claims 3rd place and doesn't have to give as much money away for this race. Tyler Reed will come home in P4. Nathan Tripod works his way up to 5th, barely beating out Evan Monaghan in 6th. Dakota Proud falls back to P7 there after the EOL penalty for causing that incident earlier on. Dylan Simmons will come home P8 in the 33. Jeremy Berger in 9th, last car on the lead lap, and Brian Ellington will come home in your 10th place position.
Further back now in the 11th place position, maybe Jacob Stefanski, who we saw have a real good run early on, unfortunately caught up in an incident. He finishes 8 laps down. Behind him, Seth Castle, 14 laps down in the 12th position. 13th, Hunter Hayden in the 13th position, 39 laps down, unfortunately. And behind that, Gunnels also had a really good start to the night, unfortunately. Started on the pole, but he'll come home 14th. 15th, going to be Tyler Clunan. And then we've got Dakota Denu in 16th. And rounding our field, Stevie Routh in 17th.
As you see the rest of the field here, I believe we actually are going to be able to get some interviews. These guys are in the broadcast booth waiting room, so I'm going to pop into there and interview the two of them really quick. And we'll see if we can get an interview with those two. And we'll see. Let's talk to those guys.
And then he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Hey, I got the both of yous in here. I don't think I have access to drag anybody. You want interviews? We're live.
We can go to Sempiternal if you want. It doesn't matter to me.
I mean, I'm gonna just do it right here if you.
Oh yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care, bud.
So congratulations.
Thanks. I told Tyler I don't want no money. Just keep it. Y'all do something later.
All right. Hey, well, we appreciate that.
Always, man.
Yeah. So congratulations tonight. I mean, you took the lead early, and I mentioned it on the broadcast. I said, Jeremy Sexton takes the lead. It's hard to get him to give it up, and you didn't give it up all night. How are you able to get it done tonight?
Just my mindset going into it was I needed to save tires, but I know here track position means more. So I just wanted to lead it, and I didn't want to be 3 cars deep running the wall and end up get spun out or spin somebody and mess their night up. And I felt track position was going to be the key. And I was hoping that in the long run, tires would not be that big of an issue because everybody would have no tire left.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it seems like Devin and Ellington both were getting warnings about their right front about to pop, and I think Ellington's might have popped. Mine was pretty good though, but right rear was pretty toasted.
Yeah, for sure. I saw there were a couple restarts there that were you had some competition there. What was it? What was it like fending those guys off and holding it up front in the lead?
A lot of pressure early on, man. I had sweat dripping off my hands trying to stay focused because this isn't like one of my good tracks. At least I don't consider it as one. Um, I'm finally starting to figure it out a little bit, but I knew once Stefanski got to second, like this is his favorite track, and I knew he was fixing to put the heat on it, and he did. He slid me a time or two or whatever it was there, and I just know if you get slid in turn one, nobody can hold it. That's not a place to slide anybody. So I was able to get back, and then one of them we had a caution, so it worked back out. And then I guess Ellington put pressure on him, and I tried not to look at the mirror any, but when I heard somebody mic up, I looked like they was 4 or 5 wide.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a ton of tight racing tonight, and all of it was in your mirror. So luckily, you didn't have to get your hands too dirty on this one. Before we move on to the next one, is there anyone you like to thank? Friends, family, sponsors?
Yeah, thank God first and foremost. Thank all the guys in the kennel. JC with Cocky Floyd Consulting, Jordan Gage. He was watching my live, giving me some pointers, which was a huge help. Definitely probably couldn't have done it without him. Knowing the track so well inside and out and what to do to keep the momentum up. And just everybody that came out and raced and supported y'all tonight seemed like a pretty good event for the first time.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely good car count showing up tonight. And thanks for talking to me for a minute. And we'll interview now Devin, so we can get him to unmute. Devin, you still here?
How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Good. Congratulations on the second place. You looked like you were able to save the tires quite well there. Did you get anything for Jeremy at the end?
Man, I was catching him at one point, and then he kind of changed his lineup, and we were kind of back and forth. But I don't know. I felt like I was running out of laps for a minute, but he was definitely holding it down pretty good up there. So it would have been questionable. I think if we would have had a restart right there at the end, I think it would have been interesting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you were digging on the bottom there, and it seemed like you had the best tires in the field, or at least making it work as if you did. And then as soon as Jeremy changed up his line, it was like, all right, well, it's kind of evened out now. So was there anything else you could have done to try to get that little bit more? I mean, just a second more there you think you could have gotten?
I think my biggest thing was I started missing the bottom really bad in 1 and 2, and I started running through the middle more, and I think that was killing me more than anything, because that's where I was getting a lot of my speed at, was on the bottom of 1 and 2, and I just kept missing it there at the end, which it kept saying that the right front was about to blow, and I knew the right rear was gone. Every time I got in the slick, the car just wanted to spin, so I knew it was gone. I think at that point it was more of just a kind of hope he made a mistake, or hope we had a caution or something like that. I mean, I'm sure we were running pretty similar lap times there at the end of it, though, because we were kind of back and forth. I kind of gained on him, and then he'd get back out on me, and so on and so forth. So
Absolutely. Well, you had a really great run tonight, and come up with that P2 finish. You got anyone you'd like to thank? Family, friends, sponsors?
Yeah, first I'd like to say whoever I got into in the beginning, I was totally on accident, did not mean to do that. Ended up taking myself and screwing myself on that one. Other than that, just thanks to all the DWRL guys. They've been helping out a lot with getting me dialed in and whatnot, and girlfriend, friends, family, everybody else, so on and so forth. So it was a good race tonight. Good win, Jeremy, and yeah, let's do it again.
Absolutely. We'll definitely put up another one of these here. I enjoy broadcasting these. They're a lot of fun to watch. So you guys got to let the field have a chance. So we get more battling up at the front of the field. But we'll get an interview.
Where do we find it?
It's called IgniteSRN on YouTube. I think Tyler might have sent a link in the open chat here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll continue to do
He
that.
posted it at DWRL too.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Tyler, before we get out of here, we'll get you an interview. You came home third tonight, and it wasn't really looking like that was going to happen. I mean, what were you thinking when you saw Ellington spin with just a lap and a half to go?
Yeah, I spent most of the race kind of mid-pack, kind of doing what these boys were talking about, saving tires a little bit. And I didn't really start with the track position to where I could take advantage of that. So I felt like I needed to take advantage of some tire saving. So once I got up to kind of the front area, sort of, I got behind Ellington for fourth, and with I don't know 2 or 3 laps to go, and I think 2 laps to go coming out of turn two, he just kind of looped around. I didn't know what it was at first, but I guess he had a tire let go, and that makes sense. My right rear was down to 19%, so I'm sure everybody was really struggling with tires. But kind of looked out on a lot of this. Had a couple of wrecks happen in front of me that I was able to avoid, and shame that Ellington went around that way. He had a good run going tonight, but take advantage of what you can, and got the third place tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how were you able to save up those tires? Because you were kind of nowhere through the first good part of this race, but definitely showed some speed towards the end. So was that all just tire saving, or did you just come alive towards the end?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of the two. I tried to tire save as much as I can while not giving up, like these guys said, too much track position. I didn't have good track position ever, but I ran pretty good through certain stages of the race. But kind of with, I don't know, about 20 laps to go after that last restart, the middle line kind of came in just below that slick line in the top, and I felt like I was able to run it fairly well. So I think on combination of having a little bit more tire than maybe some of these other guys, and that line that I enjoy running coming in, I think I just kind of benefited from both of those to get to where I was at.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, congratulations again on your third place, and it seems like you're going to be keeping your money in your pockets. So I'm sure you're excited about that. But yeah, you got anybody to thank before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Just teammates with North South Racing and the boys in the Ignite SRN broadcast booth. Of course, this was the first Ignite SRN 100. There might be a couple more Ignite SRN races in the future. Just given with how well this one went, I think it really went as well as it could. A couple of hiccups here and there, but nothing too serious. And like I said, you guys for broadcasting, all my teammates in North South, and that's pretty much it. Just had a good time tonight, and really just want to thank all the competitors that came out for this first race. This is my first ever race that I put on, and like I said, I think it went about as well as it could have. So thanks to all the people that showed up and raced as hard as they could.
Absolutely. I mean, couldn't have done it without all the guys showing up and putting on a heck of a show. It was certainly fun to watch, and hopefully it was fun to race out there as well. So thank you all for joining at home to this broadcast brought to you by IgniteSRN Sim Racing Network. We hope you have a fantastic evening, a great night, and we will see you all soon. Next broadcast on Thursday night, the American Thunder Super Speedway Series takes on Nashville Super Speedway. So hope to see you all there. Thanks for coming out tonight. We will see you guys next time.